Hey, Luigi. Yeah, Mario? We got any business today? No, Mario, nothing. Really? Not even on our new side business? What, you mean auto mechanics? Mario, we're plumbers. Remember that last guy? What we did with his mufflers? Ah, that was an accident. How was I supposed to know? I thought pipes were pipes. Besides, we ain't heard any complaints yet. Ahem. Hold on to your lug nuts. It's time for an overhaul. What? Ah! Mamma mia. Hello, everybody. This is the Starving Martian, and today we are taking a very special look. I don't know why it's very special, but we're going to say it is. At this Mask action figure. This, of course, is Tornado Mask from the Mask Zero to Hero line, coinciding with the release of the movie The Mask, which all makes some sort of sense. Alright, so when the movie came out, it was a smash hit, and there was a line of toys released at the same time. I don't think sold as well as people thought they were going to, because I remember seeing them all over the place before, during, and after the movie came out, and they ended up all getting marked down and just cluttering the discount racks of all your local toy shops, back when you still had local toy shops. And this guy here, as I said, his name is Tornado Mask, and we'll show you why in a minute. Pretty much all of the figures are based off of one particular scene, one like 35-second to 2-minute sequence, and this guy is no exception. He, of course, is a reference to the scene that I myself just somewhat interestingly, I hope, referenced the classic revenge on the bad mechanics sequence of the film, where he comes in and does a spinny Tasmanian devil sort of thing, and the unfortunate mechanics in the film ended up with these mufflers placed in a spot that doesn't seem very comfortable. I honestly can't think of a comfortable place to put a muffler in the human body, but the place that our friend the Mask here chose was perhaps one of the least comfortable going. So, yeah, so now we have an action figure that allows you to sodomize your other action figures with mufflers. Hey, there's a gimmick that you won't get anywhere else. So the interesting thing, the cool thing about this guy is he's one of the few to show the Mask in his classic yellow suit with hat and everything. And there was two others. One of them doesn't have the hat. It's got a switching head gimmick. That one's actually pretty cool. Not perfect, but none of these figures are. And the other one is shows him as a wolf, which was like a 4-second gag in the nightclub sequence. So I don't know why you need an entire action figure of that. See, this is kind of the reason I think that these things didn't sell. People just want a figure of the Mask as they see him on the movie posters that they could play with or display or yada yada. Now what they got was, well, this. It's not a terrible figure, but it's not great either by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so like many figures, this guy is burdened by a gimmick, and his gimmick has to do with that tornado action. So, you see his enormous gut here? I'm sure you do, it's hard to miss. In fact, you turn him around, and he's got an enormous backside as well. He's just chunky. That's because if you remove him from his little pedestal, you'll see this little spinny top thing. And yeah, you're supposed to be able to spin him around, and he'll fly around willy-nilly, just like in the movie, kind of, sort of, in a way. Some of you might be better at this than I am. I've had these sort of things from like Burger King Happy Meals and, well, Burger King Kids Meals. Don't want to cross trademarks there. And I can never get the darn things going. The idea is you're supposed to slide this whoosh quickly across a hard surface, and then let it go, and it falls over, and you're disappointed, and you go home and cry and tell your mommy that you want a better toy. Yeah. So this spins freely enough. But no matter what surface I scratch him across, I can't get him to do more than just a ridiculous breakdance when he eventually does fall down. It's very sad. So, fortunately, they gave you this little gray plug, so you could actually get him to stand. As far as posability goes, well, he could turn his head. Turns that very well. His arms come up and down, and they don't stay anywhere. The idea being is if you did get him spinning well, his arms would shoot up in the air and whee! Yeah. Yeah. The mufflers are removable. And there you go. You get a pair of nice mufflers. And you're not going to pay a lot for them either. And, yeah, as I said, I'm glad they gave you this piece, but I kind of wish they made it yellow to match the figure, because like right now it looks like he's just sitting in, you know, your Folgers coffee or something. Actually, no, you know what this looks like? Remember, don't cross the streams. Yeah. Anywho, just thought while we had this guy out, we'd give you a quick look at the difference between the movie, which I've already described the scene, you've probably seen it, and the original comic book. This is from Dark Horse Comics. And our introduction to character of Stanley Ipkiss is in this comic here. So he comes in this rather gaudy camouflage. I don't know what you would blend in with that camouflage. And says the now immortal line, "I am not going to pay a lot for this muffler," which I guess was already getting dated by the time they made the movie. Either that or it might have been trademarked by Meineke. I do not know. And the next time you see our hapless plumbers, yeah, things are not going well for them. They have been murdered quite gruesomely. And when a muffler being shoved up your tailpipe seems like the lesser of the evils, yeah, you know something went wrong. So, there's that for you. So here's the original package that this guy came in. So there's Jim Carrey's smiling mug up there. And his hat is partially obscured by a KB toy sticker. This guy originally retailed for $7 something, but was being sold for $3 for $10 by the time he got cleared out. Got this plastic bubble that keeps everything together. A little picture of the super spinning tornado action, as they call it. On the back you get a little bio of the mask. Simple instructions that I cannot seem to get working. A little description of the figure and more in the line. There's that wolf one I was talking about. And Milo, chomping Milo. Milo got almost as many figures as Stanley Ipkiss did. So yeah, I wish that this toy line was better. I really, really do. I want to like it. The Mask is one of my favorite 90s movies. It's, in my opinion, one of the best comic book adaptations. It strays from its source material, but still manages to capture the feel of it, and it's just a fun movie. And I wish you could, capture that better in plastic. Unfortunately, this is probably one of the better figures, especially if you like the classic look with the yellow suit, which, granted, he really only wears during one sequence in the film, but still, it's the movie poster image, it's what you think of when you think of the character, and it's kind of sad that this is the most screen-accurate version of the Mask in his zoot suit that we get to appreciate and enjoy. So yeah, it's, I wish I could be a little more positive on this. The other problem with the series of action figures, and this continues on, there was Mask, the animated series, and they did some action figures based on that. And the problem is, every single figure released, every single one of them, is some variation on the mask. They did release one of Dorian, the villain from the movie, but even that, he transforms into Mask Dorian. And so every single character, be it Stanley Ipkiss in his 18 million versions, or the dog, every single one of them is just one version of the mask. And what kind of, I don't know. It just, as a child, if you're collecting these things, if you want to play these things, you need a character to play off of. You can't have the mask. I guess you can have the mask meeting the mask, but that only works so many times. The other problem with the series is that none of the figures that ever released came with a mask. So you can't have, like, your Stanley figure holding the actual wooden mask that transforms them. So, oh well. You know, I hate to be negative, I hate to complain, but as cool as the movie is, we're going to have to take a pass, I think, at further entries in the action figure line. So this has been the Starving Martian, wishing I could bring you a better figure to review. If you like the look of this guy, you absolutely must own one. This is one of the cheapest in the line. I picked this guy up online for about $6 or so. And then they get steadily more expensive from there. I don't know. These guys used to be dirt cheap, but probably just because they're old now and getting harder to find, the prices are starting to inch their way up. So if you want a mask figure, I recommend grabbing one now. But I do not recommend paying too much for the privilege of owning one. So hope you guys found this helpful, and we will catch up with you next time with yet another random review. But until then, as I always say, keep watching the skies.